And I'm back. No one's here yet, so I'm kind of just talking to myself again, but that's okay. Um, I am beaming like a crazy person. I'm so proud of some of the people that I love the most. Tommy and Reese both hit 20,000 subscribers tonight, which I think is just absolutely amazing. Um, Liz Ferris hit 5,000. Isn't that amazing? I'm at 86 and I'm just as thrilled over mine, I think, as they are over theirs. And anyway, I'd like to be my husband. Mark says that I'm going to be at 90 before the weekend's over. I hope so. I am really trying to get to that 100 subscribers, y'all. So whenever you watch this on the replay, if you haven't already, please hit subscribe and just help me get to 100, and then I'm going to shoot for 500. That first 100 seems like such an obstacle, and then I'm just hoping I can get to 500. I want to do some collaborations with some businesses on some of my hauls, and going to kind of divide up my videos and lives between. Hi, glad to see you. Yay, I have somebody in the chat. I am going to kind of divide up my videos between hauls and Scientology related stuff and just life, just like I've been doing, only maybe a little different here and there. And I'm hoping that once I feel a little stronger, that I'll get my studio set up and I'll feel a lot more brave, and it'll be a little more, um, I don't know, a little more professional. Yes, you made it to my live. I'm so happy to see you. I just thought I'd pop on here tonight. I wanted to let everybody know that I did talk to my medical team about that little incident that I had yesterday, and they seem to think that it was low blood pressure. So they think my blood pressure for some reason bottomed out and caused that. They said that a lot of times people with a weakened system due to chemo or radiation or whatever, that that it becomes a problem. And they said that oddly that it tends to become a problem whenever you need to use the restroom, whether it be that you are constipated or not. And so that's what they think. So I'm gonna go with that. Today I did fine. I even stayed awake till close to 3 o'clock this afternoon, which is just about unheard of. Um, and I haven't been back to sleep since probably. I only slept about 2.5 hours, and then I've been awake since then. So I'm hoping to maybe get some sleep tonight after Cricket's show. I got to watch Cricket's show, but she said she might not be on long tonight though. She had something going on. I can't remember what. But anyway, oh yeah, yeah. That's what they're saying. My blood pressure, my normal blood pressure is, gosh, like 96 over 60 something. So, anything below that, they tend to they get a little nervous about. Yes, she had a sleepover with an old friend. That's true. Yeah, that's great. Um, that'd be fun. I was thinking about that. That'd be fun. I I've got friends that I've been friends with I since I was in the third grade, and I can imagine having a sleepover with some of them and just probably staying up all night laughing, talking, and catching up, and just having a good time. And then I've got friends that I've made in the last month or two that I can imagine doing that with too. So yeah, yeah, I already have low blood pressure. I can't talk. I keep calling it bread pressure. Low blood pressure. So yeah, anything you know low is dangerous for me because I stay at such a low anyway. I'm surprised they don't treat it, but they don't. Um, Now when I had chemo, it went up to about what people consider normal. It would go up the day of chemo. It would go up to about what people, you know, consider normal, 120 to 140 over about 80 or so. But the rest of the time it drops down pretty low and stays there. But yeah. So I've been really missing my little dog today. I'm used to in the evenings, especially. She comes in and spends a lot of time with me, and we, do a lot of snuggling. And I tell her she has little footy paws, and she acts a lot like Gertie, and she wants that attention, and I loved giving it to her, and she was just like a little princess, a little diva is what she was, a little diva. But yeah, I'm gonna miss her. Today's been rough. I was at my youngest daughter's, and she's got two little dogs that remind me a lot of Savannah. They're one of them is my little dog, um, Reese's sister. It's his little one of his litter mates. She's the runt, and he's not a runt. He's a little chunk. Well, not real bad, but compared to her, he weighs 16 pounds and she weighs 8 pounds. So he's double her size. But then she also has Luna, who is a little Yorkie, and she just weighs like 4 or 5 pounds. So they're tiny. But when I come over there, it's like kids with grandma. They meet me at the door and they're so excited and barking and just going crazy. And then if I sit on the couch, they sit on the couch. If I lay down, they snuggle up with me. So when I got home today, they could smell little puppies on me. Hi, Miss Sunrise Dawn. It's good to see you. Yeah, I've got two people in my chat. This is like huge for me. And I might not be good at this. So if very many people pop in, I put on the deal that I know I suck, or I know I'm gonna suck, because I really just don't know what I'm doing. But oh, inappropriate heifer. Hi. Gosh. I'm just glad to see everybody. Gosh, this is so great. All my friends, right? Yeah. So yeah, y'all talks amongst yourself, because my eyes are not focusing real good today, and I'll look over there, and I promise. But if I miss something, I'm not ignoring you. It's just everything's kind of blurry. I'm like I'm just tired. I mean, I was fine earlier. I feel absolutely fine. So anyway, I think I'm just tired. But I'm so glad that y'all are here with me, and I was going to show you if I can get him to come over here. I was going to show you Hollis. He's my little sweetheart. He's hold on. Hollis, come here. Come to mama. Come here, Snuggles. Yes, little Snuggles. He's wanting to sleep. Oh, he's gonna grunt. Here's my little Hollis. Isn't he sweet? This is my baby. Hi, from Scotland. How exciting. Gosh, this is Hollis. He's my little baby. He's sleepy. Isn't he cute? He's a mess. He's a farm dog. We have cattle and horses and everything, and he goes out to feed the cows with my husband, and he rolls in the cow poop. And so he gets a little stained here and there. He needed to be a dark colored dog, because this white really shows up. He gets more baths than any puppy ought to get. Well, he's not a puppy, he's 10 years old, but he's my puppy. He's a good boy. Yes, he's a good boy. He sleeps all curled up to me at night, and just he's just a good little dog. He says his prayers. I wish y'all could see that. I'll have to try to catch a recording of it sometime when he's not paying attention. He'll lay down, on his tummy with his feet out in front of him, and I'll say, "Are you saying your prayers?" And he'll like do behind, cover his eyes with his hands. Oh, he just scratches. He is a Maltipoo, so he's Maltese and a poodle mix. Oh, he likes that. He loves the ear scratch and belly rubs. He's big on belly rubs. But anyway, so he'll cover his eyes with his paws, and then he will when he's done, he'll like raise his head up real tall, and he says a roo roo. Like, I guess that's amen. I don't know, but I don't even know what got him started doing it. I just started teasing him about it, and then he got to where he just kept doing it all the time. Do you see your face? Oh, big yawn. Mommy woke you up from a nap. But his ears are usually longer, and he's usually a fluffier dog. We keep him a little fluffier. But he likes to go roll in the cow poop. And so he gets a little matted up. And so I had our groomer cut his hair a little bit short this time. Yes, a doggy to snuggle. There's nothing better. This one is a snuggle bug, and he just he just is a love bug. He always has been. The boy dogs in our family are the snugglers. Cinderella's glass slipper. Hi, isn't he cute? I was saying his name is Hollis. He's a he's a little bit heavy. He's 16 pounds, and he's a mess. I'm probably gonna put him down. He wants to take a nap. A nap. He's a sleepy puppy. Yes. Oh, he's just a good boy. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear him, but he's just groaning and groaning. We also have a Australian Shepherd. His name is Duke. Okay, you can lay beside me then. Fine, little nugget. Yes, you just lay right there. Yeah, big yawns. You gonna say your prayers? Not right now. Okay. Anyway, we have a Australian Shepherd named Max. He's, I believe, almost well. He's 2.5. He's my husband's dog, but we say he's my husband's dog, but he's my baby. So he messes with the cows and stuff, and bless his heart, sometimes he does what he's supposed to do, and sometimes the instinct, sometimes the instinct leads him in the right direction, and sometimes the instinct leads him in the absolute opposite direction. So yeah, there's that. And then I have an English bulldog named Poppy, and she's a snuggler too, but oh, she's so heavy and just rough. There's no bend. So when she tries to climb up my lap, it's like I don't even know how to explain it. It's just this huge lump that tries to claw her way into my lap. So I'm so glad you all are here. I was just so worried that I'd have a live and nobody would be here. It's not a very exciting one. It's a practice run kind of deal. Just seeing what I could come up with. I was so excited. I don't know if I already said this or not. That that Reese and Tommy both hit their 20,000 mark tonight. Isn't that exciting? I just cannot imagine. I asked my husband. I went in there, and I said, "Oh my God, Reese and Tommy both hit 20,000." I said, "I can't imagine having 20,000." And but they do. And then Liz Ferris got 5,000. It says, let's see. I'm sure Hollis is the smartest of them all, being a poodle mix. Yes, he is. The poodle beagle mix. Yes, yes. Beagles are very smart too. Thank you, Kimberly. It's my pajamas. I put on my pajamas as soon as I got home. It was like 6 o'clock or something, and I already had on my pajamas, and so yeah. Oh, a Springer Spaniel Australian Shepherd mix. Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. Herding you. That's what. That's what. That's what Duke does. He tries to herd me, and he'll just like come up in front of me and just stop dead in his tracks. And I mean, I have to be careful. I'll just trip right over him. And Mark gets onto him all the time. He's like, "If you're gonna walk in front of us, keep moving. Don't stop. You're gonna knock us down." I'm like, "Yeah, we're old, Duke. You're gonna break us." I know. Congratulations to Reese, Tommy, and Liz. I know. I'm so excited. I'm at like 86, y'all. And to me, I'm just shocked. I'm really shocked. I've been at this a couple weeks, and to have 86 to me seems huge. And of course I want more. I'm trying to get to 100 so that I can do that giveaway of all the crazy stuff that I think makes sense, and that I buy in the middle of the night that I think makes perfect sense. And then in the light of day, I'm like, what in the hell is this? you know I've got a box, and I think I'm gonna like go through it on a video or something and show you guys what you're signing up for, what you're gonna what one lucky viewer will get. I'm gonna send that off as soon as right after we hit 100 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends, get your husbands or wives or whatever to subscribe. Somebody said they accept dead relatives. I accept those too. I don't care. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you very much. Hugs and kisses as needed to you too. I think we all need hugs and kisses sometimes. But yeah, I'm just after I get to 100, then I'm gonna just build to try to get to the 500 because there's some people I want to do some collabs with and stuff. And anyway, oh, you had a dog named Duke. Oh, yeah. Well, my husband's a big John Wayne fan, so he named him Duke, and his sisters were like, "Well, why am I not surprised that he named the dog Duke?" And I said, "Well, has he had a Duke before?" And they're like, "No, he hasn't." But I was surprised that he hadn't. I thought he was like sticking with the royalty thing because there for a while we had like Princess and Queenie and we had a hedgehog named Princess. So and I had another one named Prickles. Prickles was my baby. When she passed away, I I went into mourning for a while, y'all. I couldn't believe I had gotten so attached to a hedgehog. But anyway, yeah, we have a cat too. Her name's Reese. Reese Whiskerspoon. We named her after Reese Witherspoon, and she's certainly not cute like Reese Witherspoon. She's oh, and she's mean. I think I've said it before. I'm afraid she's going to eat my face off. She's just mean. She's sweet as can be when she wants to be, but when she doesn't want to be, she's not. She's mean. So, yeah, Hollis got his name from Paula's bodyguard's name is Hollis, and I absolutely fell in love with his name when I heard it. I don't know how I had not ever heard the name Hollis, or if I had, I just never paid any attention to it. But when I met Hollis, the person, then then I, of course, was in love with the name. When in the person, he's an amazing, amazing, amazing person. Those are really cute names. Poppet and Zola. Oh, I keep thinking about getting another cat. I always like. I'm not really a cat person, but I when I got her, I actually had my eyes on this bright orange cat, and it was a snuggler. A friend of ours had them, and I wanted the orange one, and my husband would only let me get one. And this little monster that we got, she's a calico, and she's anything bad you hear about calico, that's my Reese. When I first got her, she'd poop on my bed every day, and I'd have to rewash pee and poop on my bed, and I'd have to rewash all the bedding every day. I would get so mad, and so I confined her to just one room. Well, it was the bedroom and bathroom, and so she had her litter box, she had her food, she had her water, she had everything, she had toys, she had everything she could possibly want, and she pooped on my bed every time. But anyway, I wanted the little orange cat, but I had a one of the new Camaros, and it had like the sunroof on the top. And I was out at this friend of ours' farm, and this cat got in the sunroof and would not come out of my car. Like she crawled under the seats, would not come out. I tried to get her out. She'd claw me, just it was awful. And before that, she would climb like her little claws like this. She would climb the screen on their windows when I was there and watch me. And she was obsessed with me. I mean, she wanted to go home with me from the beginning. And I don't know, I had the little cat carrier and everything the day that she ended up coming home with me. But she didn't come home with me in the cat carrier. She came home with me under the seat. But anyway, she hid under the seat and was just determined. And I said, well, I I guess she's picked me. I guess I've got to take her. And so I took her home with me. And do you know, this is horrible, but literally that night, the on the farm there got what was it? The like a mountain lion came in. He got it on video, not the killing, but it's stalking on the in the around the farm, around the house and everything. It was a mountain lion, and it killed every one of those cats, the mamas, the babies, all of them, except for this mean little thing that I've got. So I always tell her, you should be nicer to me. I literally saved your life. But she's not grateful. She's not grateful at all. This is so sad. Let us know something was wrong by howling. Yeah. Aw, that's something. Animals are so, you know, they're so intuitive. Hollis, he's in a pout over Savannah. He he's just been laying around all day, worse than ever. He just lays around. He keeps going under the bed because she loved to hide under the bed. Well, she'd hide under the bed, and then whenever they would walk by, she'd jump out. She wasn't nice either. She was mean. She's the sweetest dog in the world to people, but she was the boss of the dogs, and so she would, when they would walk by, she'd leap out from under the bed and growl and bite their ankles. Yeah, you have mountain lions too, Kimberly. Oh, yeah, we have to keep an eye on our pets. It really scares me, and we've got bigger dogs around here too that kind of alert us, and I think that they keep them away from our house, but we do have them on the property. We'll hear them at night and stuff, and we I live out in the country, so we've got everything. We think that there's even bears out here. Before everybody said there wasn't bears in Oklahoma, but there are bears in Oklahoma, but they're coming more and more towards my area. And I don't know, there's just been some strange markings on some trees and stuff not too far from here. And people have said they think that there's, some bears around. And I'm just like, oh man. Before I used to walk outside in the dark and I don't know, I was stupid, I guess. I'd walk outside barefoot all summer long, just in the dark, barefoot, and walk out from where we lived before. Our laundry room was out in this big garage shop building that we had. Can't figure out if that's I started to say there's Savannah, but I think it's Reese. She's oh no, it's Poppy. Poppy was hid under the bed, which is a trip. Watching that fat bulldog crawl under the bed. But yeah, the we have to definitely watch. But I would walk out barefoot, and now I'm scared to death of getting snake bit or something. And we have copperheads around here bad, and they get in the trees and everything. And ugh, I just hate it. I like winter because I don't have to worry about it as much. Oh my God, you have 15 cats, all rescues. Bless your heart. Well, I guess mine was a rescue in a way. It didn't come from a shelter, but I definitely rescued her. Oh, we've had a bear in the yard a couple of times, and I'm more afraid of the mountain lions. I am too. I am too. Mountain lions will stalk you, and we have um my mind went blank on what we have. I can't think of it. What's the word I'm looking for? The black panthers. We have panthers. I knew I'd get it if I could. I was going to say the school over here, one of the schools close to us, their mascot is a panther. We have panthers. I saw one time. I've heard them. They cry like a baby. They make this sound that sounds like a baby crying. But I saw a panther one time, but it was crossing. I At the time I was married to my first husband, and we lived over on actually just a mile on a mile section on a dirt road over, and then about 3 miles. But anyway, we lived over there, and I was going down this dirt road headed to my in-laws house. My husband was up there, and I saw something crossing in the road, and I like slowed way down and pretty much crawled to a stop, and then I stopped dead in my tracks. And it was just as black as it could be. It was the most beautiful, shiny black, and it had a real fat looking tail. It was you just and it was like taller in the back than it was in the front. And I mean, it just stared at me. I was in my car, and it just stared at me. And I made sure my doors was locked, as if the panther was going to come over and open my door and get in or something. But it was scary. And this was before cell phones, and so now people are like, "Oh, no picture, it didn't happen." I said, "Listen, we didn't carry cameras around back then, this was, God, 30, 40 years ago now, probably 40 years ago now." But yeah, I haven't seen one since then, but I know people that have. And we see them on trail cams and stuff, and they get put on our the Tulsa News. People will share their trail cams of panthers and mountain lions, and we haven't found Bigfoot yet. I'm watching. Oh, mountain lions can jump 40 feet, and I saw one of them do it. I was in my car driving down the road, but it was surreal. I bet. I can't imagine seeing one jump like that. They scare me on. They'll get in trees too. They'll get in trees too. I take that back. I did see a panther another time. It was in a tree. Now this is gonna sound hick as all get out, y'all. But at the time I was in high school and I was dating my, first big time boyfriend here. I'd had a kind of a boyfriend out in California, but we were more, I don't know, stupid and anyway. But anyway, so my big first love, and we were dating and we were together all the time and we went coon hunting. Now we didn't do anything. I don't know what they do when they coon hunt because all we did was we rode around on mules and looked for coons up in trees and sent the dogs chasing after them. And that's all we did. We didn't, I mean, I don't know what we did. That's all we did. I don't know what people do when they coon hunt because that's all we did. Well, we was with his dad, but it wasn't no big romantic thing or no hillbilly romance going on there. But anyway, um, my boyfriend's dad stopped and he like put his hand out, like you see them in the westerns, how they'll hold their hand out for the people behind them to stop. Well, he did that and we stopped. And he says, just back away. And I'm like, what? And he goes, just back away. And so we backed up our mules a little bit and then we turned them around. I mean, we backed them quite a ways and turned them around and started walking off. And he followed behind us, and he kept watching behind us. And of course, I'm watching behind me, watching what he's looking at. And I never could see anything for a while. And finally, we got a little ways away and he shined the light up there. And there it was, a big old black cat. Scared the crap out of me. I said, that's it. And that was the end of my coon hunting. So I never went back. I did go frog gigging, and that was just gross. I didn't like that. And I like frog legs, but I don't want to know nothing about gathering them. I just want them somebody to. I'll even cook them, but I'd prefer somebody cook them and have them ready for me. Yeah. Do you have any scary critters in Scotland, or just cute Highland cows? Hey, I have Highland cows, y'all. They are cute. They are cute. Mine never got their big furry loveliness this winter. It just never got cold enough. I hope it doesn't get cold. And I mean, they're not going to freeze. They got enough to, but sometimes they get real furry and they look like they have bangs and everything. And they didn't do that this year. And then we have the belted Galloway ones, the little ones that look like Oreos, and their hair gets kind of curly. So they'll have like these little, you know, curls on their head. Their hair will get kind of long. Oh, your old cat loves snuggles. Reese will not let me snuggle her. I can, tickle under here like this, and I can like do on her head like this, and sometimes I can go down her back and up her tail. Nothing else. If I pick her up, I might be able to count to 5 if I do it fast, and then I swear it's like ding, and the claws come out, and I'm just like, okay, you can go over there and lay down because, ugh, you used to catch frogs and keep them as pets. We used to do it with turtles. My daughter, she used to keep turtles all the time and she'd go to the turtle races, and I don't know what it was, she could always pick the fastest little turtles. She was like famous around here. She was like 6, and she's winning every turtle race around here, and it was always a different turtle. She never had the same one. Now she has a tortoise. Next time Vetta's on with me, she wants to show you guys her tortoise. I can't think of what its name is right now. And I know it. See, chemo brain, it doesn't go away when you quit having it. Clover. Clover's the tortoise name because they don't know for sure if it's a boy or a girl. So, I mean, it's getting pretty big. I mean, it was, little when they got it. And I mean, it's big now. I mean, it's going to get huge. We were teasing Vetta. I don't think she has a clue. I said, sweetheart, you will be willing this tortoise to somebody in your will. It's going to outlive all of us. She still thinks even though we lost mom, she just cannot stand the thought of, you know, losing anybody else. So she thinks that, like, when one of us dies, that we're just all going to die together. So she, you know, she says, well, who's going to get Clover when we all die together? And so we try to explain to her that that's not how it happens, that, you know, you people die when they die, just like my mom, you know, Grandma Doris died, but the rest of us didn't die. And she'll get it. She's 6, and I think that she knows, but she doesn't want to know. She doesn't want to face it right now. It was a big deal. She's close to me, but she is nowhere near as close to me as she was with my mom. My mom and her were tight. It was it was beautiful. Oh yeah. Fox. Yeah, we have fox out here too. We have a little bit of everything. Oklahoma is we are definitely blessed with the woodland creatures. Like I said, not every place around here has bears, but they are coming into the state more. And we don't have alligators except for the occasional one that somebody lets loose, has for a pet and lets loose, which is so cruel. They're not going to make it. And I just, oh, Miss Sunrise Dawn, one, her name is Natasha, and the Grumpy Cat. I should have named Reese Grumpy Cat. I went through so many names and they were all cutesy little names, you know, and I was watching all these Reese Witherspoon movies and everything, and I was like, "Oh, that's cute. I'll just name her Reese, you know, Whisker Spoon, Reese Whisker Spoon." And it was just like a little play on words, and I liked it and thought it was cute. Well, she needed to be named Hellion or something. Oh, Phantom still visits in your sleep. It would keep you happy. You know, there's not a thing in the world wrong with that. I dreamed all night of Savannah. I would wake up, and because I would feel her licking my nose, and she wasn't there, but maybe she was. You know, I don't know. You have plenty of skunks and raccoons. Yes, we have plenty of skunks and raccoons, and I don't know if y'all saw Fergus on Cricket's channel. My daughter has a raccoon, and his name is Fergus, and that is the fattest raccoon. You know, he doesn't get a lot of exercise because he's not out scavenging for food. He's got it pretty lucky. He gets fed pizza, chicken nuggets, um, anything he wants, marshmallows. Yeah, Cricket's obsessed with wanting to feed him marshmallows. I think she'd come all the way down here to Oklahoma if she could feed that goofy thing marshmallows. And that's something I love how you're all animal lovers. We are big animal lovers. Um, I used to have birds, and I'm kind of thinking about getting a bird again. I had a Quaker that I loved, and he talked and he cussed because he would mimic me, and I would say stuff, and then he would say it. And you did see Fergus? Oh yes, the mulberry trees. They like those. They like persimmon trees too. Um, I can't imagine if Fergus. Oh my gosh, that cat or that cat. That well, we I call him a cat because we call him the fat cat because they have a cage built for him, and what they did was, I mean, he's not always in it, but he it's like a habitat for him. You know, they took like half of their dining room and made this amazing cage for him, and I mean, he's a lucky guy. That's what the game warden said too. When you know they have to come out, I think it's every year or maybe it's every 2 years or something. I can't remember. But anyway, the last time he was out, he was amazed that you know he had this big enclosure basically, and they're wanting to put things on the wall where he can climb up the wall and you know have different perches and stuff. And Curtis is real good at that kind of thing. So, but he's worked so much this winter. I think he was planning on really working on that stuff this winter, but he worked so much that he didn't get to. But he's got plenty. But anyway, it's so funny what we call him the fat cat because they have two cats, and Megan teases and says that their cat figured out why the fat cat's behind bars, because one day, oh my good Marvin, the one of their cats, um, he went over there, and it's so funny because Fergus will back up to the cage. It's like a wire and wood. It's a wood frame and it's got wire. Like it's not chicken wire, it's thicker than that. But anyway, that kind of a wire. And he'll back up to it and just press his back up against it as hard as he can. And and Marvin will scratch his back. He likes to have his back scratched. And so this cat will stand there and scratch this raccoon's back. And anyway, it's the cutest thing. Well, one day they got to playing, and he I think Marvin got to irritating Fergus or something. Well, Marvin turned his head and looked at something else, and Fergus reached through that cage and put Marvin in a headlock. I didn't get to see it, but Megan and Curtis saw it, and Curtis had to go over there and swat the cat out of the way to get him. He was out. He was in a headlock. I was like, oh my god, but it's a mess. Eh, the husband said he was getting another cat after Phantom. He'd move out if I got one. Yeah. Um, Mark, he would only let me get one cat, and then now that he's gotten used to Reese, I'll say something about getting another cat, and he's like, no, no, no. But when Savannah passed, I could probably ask for just about anything right now, and he'd let me have it, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not ready to try to replace her. Oh, Hollis, you're just laying there looking at mommy. Just laying there looking at mommy like, are we going to go to bed? He watches crickets live with me. He lays up, I'll lay over on my side, and he lays up on this shoulder, and we watch crickets. So when she's on her live, she's got a little Hollis dog watching her. He's just like limp right now, but he's in a pout a little bit. But I am just so glad y'all came on with me. I'm really excited. I never expected to have several of you, and this is exciting for me. And I'm just really happy. Um, and all of you are animal lovers. I got to get a drink. I'm sorry. I'm just thirsty. I feel a little feverish. They said I probably would. Um, they doubled my radiation today. I'm like, oh boy. I don't know if any of you have had radiation, but it's 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 easy. I mean, you don't feel sick or anything. You feel tired, but anyway, yeah, she does have tons of puppers watching. But anyway, what you have to do is you lay on this. Well, they make a mold for you, and you lay in this mold so that you lay in exactly the same position every time that you go. And yeah, they told me, they said, you can have this when you're done if you want to take it home for a souvenir. And I said, no, that's quite okay. I don't really need this souvenir. You can have it. You can toss it in the trash. I'll toss it in the trash. I don't need it. But anyway, you lay in this deal flat on your back. You can't move. It's a hard bed, and then you're in a hard, you know, whatever it is they've got you in. I call it a cage, but it's not really a cage, but it's just hard and uncomfortable. But anyway, and then they'll say, take a deep breath. You suck it in. When you get enough in, they'll say, hold it. And let me tell you, they want a deep breath. And then you hold it, and you hold it, and you hold it, and you hold it. And then pretty soon your body's, starting to jerk because it's like, okay, I'm going to have to breathe. And so finally they'll say, breathe. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Well, usually they do about 19 of them. And it's rough. I mean, it's hard to hold. I get a headache because of it. But anyway, today they did, I can't remember, 38 or something like that. So I had radiation, just got a sunburn on my right boob and felt tired, but the tiredness lasted a long time. Yes, I had radiation about 10 years ago and the same thing. Now I've not burned this time, which I've only had, this was 5, 8. It was number 8 out of 28. I'm gonna have somewhere between 28 and 33, but, this was only the 8th one, and but the last time I had it, I had the sunburn, the blistering, and it was on the front and the back. Did yours do the front and the back, Kimberly? Mine did front and back, and it hurt. Um, but right now I'm just tired. It hurts inside. It's kind of achy inside, and I'll have like throbbing pains, but nothing. I mean, I don't even need Tylenol for it. I'm fine. But I get a little bit feverish, and they said that's just my body. It's trying to go back into fighting mode. I was in fighting mode so long with the chemo, and then I was off of it for about 3 months, and so now my body is like, oh, you want me to fight again? And so that's all it is, and it doesn't even get to 100. It's just usually around 99 or so, but anyway, she's my wow, your radiation sounds a lot more intense than mine. No, they just radiated my right boob. Just a little achy. Yeah, the first time, that I had it I was achy and tired, but my mom had radiation in the early 80s, then chemo. After the first few sessions, she was fine. After that, she was wiped out. Yeah. They really didn't expect me to get as tired as I did, as fast as I did. Oh, welcome, a dose of rose. You caught up on the 2X? Well, I bet you were bored. I wonder what I sound like. I'll have to go listen to me on 2X. Sometimes I'm not overly tired tonight. If I was really tired, sometimes my speech slows way down. So then maybe I would sound normal on 2X, but we've got a good little crowd for me. I'm excited. I Y'all are making my day. But yeah, this time they told me this time that radiation was going to be no joke. Well, in fact, whenever I went to MD Anderson back in July, we spent most of July at uh, at MD Anderson in Houston, and right before I came home, yeah, I bet it was entertaining. Did you see my dog? Isn't he precious? Hollis, he's precious. But anyway, we spent almost a month there, and they right before we left, they did surgery, and they removed most of what was left of the cancer. There's still some in there. My margins did not come back clean. But well, first they told me they did. And so of course, I'm all excited. I've just went through a year of chemo and all this stuff, and I go to all my friends and I'm like, I'm cancer free. My margins are clear. I'm so excited. Yay. And then 2 weeks later they said, "Oh, technically they weren't clear. There's still a little bit of cancer in there." And I'm just like, it just crushed me because, and then I felt like, that all my friends were going to think that, I was loony or something. But I told him, I said, listen, she told me, in fact, I'm just going to tell it. I'm a lot like Reese in this stuff, y'all. I tell a lot. I was sitting on the toilet pooping, and the phone rang. We were in the hotel. We were staying in the Hilton in Houston, and they had the cheapest rate. It was funny because I thought, Hilton, it's not an expensive hotel, but it's not the cheapest usually. But they had the cheapest rate, and they had a free shuttle that took me back and forth to the hospital every day. So you couldn't beat it. And they had a restaurant in the hotel. So, you think about all that stuff when you've flown in somewhere. But anyway, so I'm sitting on the toilet and I'm pooping. And my husband says, "Oh my God, it's the doctor." And we knew she was going to call with the results. So, and anyway, he said, "Do you want the phone?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I guess." And I was like, "Oh God, I'm sitting here on the toilet." But I took the phone, and she tells me that I'm cancer free. And, I'm like all but doing a happy dance while I'm sitting on the toilet. And so, but I'm trying to kind of give her the brush off and get her off the phone pretty quick. So I got her off the phone and everything. And I told Mark, I said, "Well, not everybody gets told they're cancer free on the toilet." And then when I found out I wasn't, in fact, cancer free, I said, "Well, I should have known. I was sitting on the crapper and they gave me a load of crap. So, uh, I think MD Anderson is a really good hospital though, and I hope they fix you up. Yeah, I will have a full recovery. But when they did I'd had it was a 2.5 inch circle hole in my chest wall that I had to pack every day for 2.5 years. I had that 2.5 is about 2.5 3 inches. Well, it started out more than that. It started out more like 4 or 5 inches, but it got down to 2.5 inches or so, and it just quit closing. It wouldn't close any more than that, and it had come open because of seromas, which are just pockets of fluid in there, and it would literally like spring a leak and like spray across spray across the room, like it literally would hit the wall, and I'd have, of course, I'm freaking out. I have to go take that, get that all under control, and then go clean the wall. And oh, I hated it. 2.5 years of just, I wouldn't go anywhere hardly because you just never knew when this was going to spring a leak. And even though I would keep it, packed, and I would actually wear like the really big super absorbency maxi pads, put one in my, bra or something, to hold it on there because those were so absorbent. They're more absorbent than even the the bandage stuff that they would give me. And so that, or the ones for incontinence, I would buy those and put those in there. And but you just never knew if my shirt was going to end up soaked wet. So I hated to go anywhere. So I've become kind of a hermit. But anyway, so they went in, cleaned out these seromas for the last time, hopefully, and took out what was left of the cancer. Well, whenever she called and I was on the toilet, she was also telling me um, what they found with the cancer and how big it was and all this stuff. Well, my husband, he's God, he's like slipping a little notepad and a pen through the little bitty crack in the door. And I'm like, go away, and so I can take notes. And so I wrote it down. And then whenever I went to translate it over, I thought I had written it down wrong because it translated over to that the cancer they removed was 7 inches long and almost 4 inches wide. And I thought, well, it wasn't that big. I've wrote it down wrong. I've messed up. But in my brain, we use inches and stuff here. And so I had transferred it over to that, and I thought I wrote it down wrong. So the next day we went back over to the hospital, and they gave me all the paperwork on it and gave me the dimensions and everything of it. And I was right. That cancer was 7 inches long and 3.5 or so inches wide was what they removed. And I tell you what, that was staggering. I was used to, the first time I had cancer, it was the size of a pea. The second time I had cancer, it was the size of a quarter. And this time, while I was having chemo, it was 7 inches long and 3.5 inches wide. So that was terrifying for me. So anyway, but MD Anderson is good. They were, yes, terrifying. They were so good. I can't brag on them enough. Now they're a little full of themselves. They are the best, and they know they're the best. And so, they don't think anybody else can do as good as they can, and maybe they can't. I don't know. My doctors here wouldn't touch it. They wouldn't close me up. That's why I went down there, was that I had two plastic surgeons that are, very well liked and everything, very, very good doctors, and I just loved them. And they wouldn't close it up. And, they said, I would rather you went to MD Anderson. And I was just like, oh my God, what's the deal? And so, anyway, they wouldn't do it here. So I went down there, and they'll let you know down there that they do things that nobody else will and everything. I have lost some range of motion. I can't really lift my arm very good, but it's getting better. It's getting a lot better. And, you know, I don't know. I've kind of found a you know, new lease in life with I feel more excited about life, and I've got this, YouTube channel now, and I'm making more friends, and that makes me just like more excited to face each day. And I wish I'd have done this when I was doing chemo, because I really could have used y'all as friends back then. I really could have. And just had people to talk to. You're right. Nothing wrong with being the best. Yes, they are. They are the leaders. They rank number one in the world. So I guess they absolutely deserve to know they are the best, but they do. They consistently rank number one in the world. They have people come over from all over the world. In fact, um, the president's son, Bo, the one that passed away, he had his cancer treatment there, and they didn't save him, but I don't think he could be saved if they didn't do it, because I don't, I'd really, I think if anybody could do it, it was them. Now, they did work with my oncologist down here, and they said that she had the same treatment plan that they would have, and that made me feel good, you know. But and they also have worked with my radiologist. They sent what their recommendations were, and they've been on, they've had conversations with her and conference calls and stuff with her too. So I'm glad they got it. My stepmom is currently receiving chemo for breast cancer. Bless her heart, my prayers are with her. Thankfully, they managed to get it all. They found 2 lumps. One was 3 inches and the other was 4 inches. Isn't that awful? See, that's probably the biggest I've heard of other than mine. I mean, if you add them together, you know. So mine was like flat. It wasn't a lump. This one wasn't. The other times they were a lump, but this was like it was it bunched up, but they said that it was like just flat. It was weird. I don't know. I've had cancer 3 times, and to be honest, I've had 4 kinds of cancers, because this time with the cancer, I'm sorry, my nose is I'm having allergies. You can probably tell it's red. Um this time when they were doing different tests for my cancers, I had 2 different kinds of breast cancers in there at the same time. So when they, removed it, not this last time, not at MD, but at the when they removed it before, and they tested it, it was 2 different kinds. I said, only me, and always on the same side. It has never migrated over to the right side. Everything has always been on the left side. So that's just crazy. I'm glad they got your mom's breast cancer too. There's so many people with breast cancer. I've um, I've lost 4 friends, and honestly, they had it once, and I've had it 3 times, 4 different kinds of breast cancer, but I've had it 3 times, and that's why I said I'm lucky. I mean, yes, I've had a hard go of it and everything, but not like not like it could be, and I'm alive, and it breaks my heart, and I miss them so bad. I think about them a lot, and yeah. Anyway, they thought it was just one small lump, so they were surprised when they went in. I bet they were. I think my doctors were pretty surprised too. They knew it was large from the scans, but it was crunched up. But they said when they took it out, they could just flatten it out like a piece of paper, like 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 if it was rolled up in a ball, and then it just smoothed out. So they were really surprised with mine too. I think cancer is evolving. It's coming, it's changing, and I think that it's catching some of our doctors by a little bit of surprise too. It's different than what they're used to seeing, and they hide behind each other, like, how like twins, when you're pregnant with twins, and sometimes at first you don't know that you're pregnant with twins because one will hide behind the other. I think it's kind of that way with cancer sometimes. But gosh, cancer is just a horrible thing. My mom had it too. I had it. um I'm trying to think how that went. I had it, and then a year later I had it again, and then a year later she had it, and she went through chemo and radiation and everything. In fact, where I'm going for radiation this time is not where I went the last time. Um, I went to Stillwater, Oklahoma, to have radiation when I had it last time, and I'm in Tulsa this time. And the actual bed that I'm doing my or table. They call it a bed, but it's not a bed. It's a table. It's hard. But anyway, it's the same one my mom was on. It's the same room and same bed and everything that my mom had radiation on. So every time I'm laying on it, I'm sitting there thinking about that my mom laid on this very same bed, and she didn't die from breast cancer. She died from um, gosh, it was her heart. She congestive heart failure. The more tired I get, the more I can't find my words. Yeah, it was hiding behind one another. Isn't that something? Bless her heart. I'm glad they got it out though. I just it's scary, and I say all the time that we have all these cute little things, for breast cancer and everything, and it's just not so cute. All these little pink ribbons and save the tatas and, fight like a girl and I don't know, all this stuff. And I still do. I have all the cute little t-shirts and everything. I've got decals. I've got a little decal thing on my car and I always had a lot of pink stuff. So everything that I have that's pink is not because of breast cancer, but I certainly got even more of it whenever over the years with breast cancer. And but it's not fun. It does kill. It's like one out of I think 4 women now will get breast cancer and mm, it's just something I just can't believe. Yes, I'm team save the woman. Absolutely. I had my double mastectomy whenever I had the first round of it, which was actually it was, a zero. It was just like it was cancer, but just barely. And but I went ahead and had the double mastectomy because I was terrified. And I had always said I had large breasts and I hated them. I hated having large breasts. I had been big busted all through school and had got made fun of and boys always trying to grope you and everything else and just I hated them. And I always said, "You watch." From the time I was like, 15. I'm not talking about like in the last 10, 12 years. I'm talking about, many, many years ago. I said it'll be my boobs that kill me. And I did not even have a conscious thought of it being like breast cancer really. I didn't know anybody that had it or anything. It was just something I said, but I meant it. And so whenever I ended up with breast cancer, I said, I want them gone. I want them gone. I don't want them. And so my surgeon took them and I was glad. Well, then I went back and was trying to do reconstruction, but I kept getting infected. And that's a whole story. I'll have to tell you all the story one of these days, but it's a doozy about this plastic surgeon that I had that I said I wanted just small breasts, just something to make your clothes hang right, because you can see how my clothes they just hang. It's because I don't have anything to kind of hold them where they belong. And I've got all the fake ones. I've got itty bitty fake ones and up to not great big fake ones, but larger fake ones. And they're just annoying. They just annoy me. They're hot. I don't like them. So I don't wear them. But anyway, so I just wanted something small just to help with the way my clothes fit. And I woke up from surgery and I felt like that somebody had put a hot, heavy boulder on my chest, which he had told me to expect to, kind of feel like that. So I didn't think much of it. But whenever I got a look at it, they were as big or bigger than my original breast. And all it was the tissue expanders. And he had told me that they were going to put, the tissue expanders in and just put a little bit of fluid in it. And then I'd have to come back every once in a while and put a little bit more until we got to the size that I wanted. Well, this was, I mean, they were past a triple D. They were, I had a triple D bra at home that was too big for me. But I had this triple D that I had bought and it was just too big and they wouldn't fit in it. They were, you know, It was awful. Hurt so bad. And I fought that for a long time, but that's how we found my cancer, my second cancer, because it got infected. My whole chest was just blood red. I went back to my original surgeon and I said, something is wrong. I hate my plastic surgeon. Look what he's done to me. I felt like I'd been mutilated. But anyway, I told him, I said, take them out. I want them out. And he goes, well, when do you want to do it? And I said, yesterday. And this was on a Tuesday. I had them out Thursday. But there was a knot on my chest right here. And I had asked the plastic surgeon, what is this knot? And he goes, I don't know. It's probably the port where, where you get fills, where you fill them up at. And I just thought, he doesn't know. He doesn't know if that's that or not. It was a perfect circle about the size of a quarter. So that was probably the final straw. I, there's a lot of it, and I'll tell you the story because it is. I think that you have to be your own advocate, and if I can like give you warnings of stuff to watch out for, then you know maybe you'll get away from horrible doctors before sooner than I did. But anyway, so he took these out, and whenever I don't know, within when I went back for my like a week checkup or something, the knot was still there. And I said, well, I know one thing for sure. And he said, what's that? And I said, the knot that dumbass said was probably the port is not a port. And he said, oh, really? And I said, because it's still there. I said, so unless you have left a port in me, which I absolutely don't think you did, but unless that's the case, then, you know, it's something else. And he said, well, we need to go back in there and see what it is. So we went back to surgery. So here it was a week later, I'm back in surgery and he got it out and it was cancer. And, he did the whole thing where he pulls his little stool up. He'd done it the first time and he found it, both times, but he pulls his little stool up kind of between my legs and holds onto my hand. And he said, well, it's breast cancer again. And I just was like, you have got to be kidding me. I mean, first of all, I wanted to go just strangle that stupid plastic surgeon. Oh, he was awful, 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 awful. I should have sued him. There's so many things I should have sued him over, but I'm just one of those people that's not what I was thinking. And at the time, honestly, I was just trying to survive because, as soon as we found the cancer, then it was all this chemo and all this radiation and, more surgeries. And it's been a mess. But, what is this? I won't miss any of my cancer screenings because I'm 55. We get bowel and breast screenings in Scotland every 2 years. Good. Please get them. Please. Please get them. I cannot stress that enough. Yeah, I get them too. I get breast screenings more than that now. Well, for the 10 years between my cancers, I got them every 6 months. But for right now, I'm going to be getting them every 3 months for a while. And then it'll go out to 6 months. And so, but yes, please get them. Please. If you do nothing else for yourself, and I am big on self love, but if you do nothing else for yourself, do that. So, one of my best friends had trouble with her breast reconstruction surgery. She thought she was going to get some nice boobs, but it wouldn't heal up. Yeah. She said, just no thanks, and had the other one removed. Yes. Yeah. I've tried and tried. Well, I say that. I had those put in and taken out, and then I went to another plastic surgeon and he cut me from the back of one armpit across the front to the back of the other armpit and cleaned up a bunch of scar tissue that the plastic surgeon left behind, and he also punctured my lung and didn't have time to fix it and wanted another surgeon to fix it until the nurse, thank you nurses, they are godsends, I cannot brag on nurses enough, said, you are going to fix this or she is going to die, and I am going to help her family sue you. So he went back in and fixed it, but you have to be threatened with anyway. But yes, um, I I went to that extent to get that much done, and was gonna go in and have reconstruction surgery, and that's when they found that's when it opened up again, and they ended up finding the cancer, and so here we are, a little over a year later. And then when I was down in Houston at MD Anderson, the plastic surgeon that actually did close my incision up, the opening up, um, she wanted to do, she wanted to take fat from. She kept trying to find somewhere, and I'm like going, girl, you are not going to tell me you cannot find enough fat to make boobs, because she was wanting to take fat and make boobs, and because she said she didn't think I could do any kind of implant. She said, I don't think you'll ever be able to do an implant, and from my history. And so she said, I suggest we go find some fat. But apparently this girl don't have the right kind of fat, and it was going to be really interesting finding it. And she found where she could get some, but it was going to be from my thigh, and she was afraid that it would um she's afraid it would, you know, leave them deformed looking or something. And so she said, well, let's revisit it in a year. Let's give you a chance to heal from this, and let's revisit it in a year. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't care. It doesn't seem to bother my husband. It doesn't really bother me. I don't get under boob sweat. Excuse me. I, I'm gonna figure out how to mute for when I have to cough or something eventually, or get a drink or something. I'm gonna figure all this out, y'all. Since I have my mammogram on Tuesday. Yes, do that, please. Please. I mean, just, and that surgeon should lose his life. Yeah, he should have. I did file a complaint. Didn't seem to do any good. He didn't lose his license, but I did file a complaint with the medical board, and, whatever, and went through my other surgeon to figure out how to do it and everything, and he helped me do it. But I don't, he's still practicing, because I still see every once in a while I get an ad. Can you believe that? Yeah, if he's having like an open house or something, he'll or like they've welcoming another surgeon into the practice or something. I'll get a I'll get an email, an invitation, and I'm like, "Oh, you have got to be kidding me." Every once in a while I go on his site and I leave just the shittiest, you know, message on their review as I can do, but it always seems to get deleted. And I try to keep it nice. I don't cuss. I don't say anything that can't be proven. I just, say that I think he tried to kill me more than once, and that I'm alive by the grace of God, and certainly not by him. And he missed my cancer. He thought it was a port, and you know, I have not been kind to him, but he does not deserve kindness. So anyway, I just, ladies, I'm gonna have to get off of here. My husband, I'm surprised he's not knocking on my bedroom door. He usually goes to bed before now. Well, this is the weekend, so he's probably sleeping or staying up a little later. Hollis, you want to tell him night night? Come here. You want to tell him night night? He says night night. Hollis can say night night. Wave. He's got little footy paws too. Not as little as Gertie, but they're little compared to my big dogs. But I'm gonna get off of here, and I cannot tell you guys how much it meant to me that you came on with me, and I hope that you'll come on with me again. We might try to do this again in the evenings, and I'll try to get a warning in there a little bit ahead of time. For some reason tonight it wouldn't let me put a warning on there that I was coming on. They probably thought, oh well, she won't do it, but it wouldn't let me do it. And finally it did, but I had been trying for probably an hour. But anyway, so you all have a good night. I'll see some of you on crickets later on tonight, I'm sure. And Hollis will be laying there watching all the chat with me. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow or later on tonight. I appreciate it so much. It was so nice. You made this amazing. I had a good time, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye bye. Thank you guys.